watched it. And when it ended, you sat there staring at the screen thinking, what on earth did I just watch? Do not worry. You are not alone. Mulholland Drive, David Lynch's 2001 masterpiece, has confused, haunted, and obsessed film lovers for over 2 decades. It is consistently ranked among the greatest films ever made. Roger Ebert gave it 4 stars. It topped the BBC's list of the greatest films of the 20th century. And yet most people who watch it have absolutely no idea what it means. Today, I am going to tell you everything. But first, this video contains spoilers. If you have not seen Mulholland Drive, stop right now. Go watch it. Come back. You will thank me later. Still here? Good. Let's go. The very first thing you need to understand about Mulholland Drive is this. The film is not told in chronological order. It is not a straightforward narrative. It is a dream. And like all dreams, it follows its own logic. Emotional logic, not rational logic. The key to unlocking everything is simple. The film is split into 2 realities. The moment you understand where that split happens, every single confusing scene suddenly makes perfect sense. Here is the truth. The first 2/3 of the film, the bright, warm, almost magical section, is not real. It is a dream, a fantasy, a desperate wish fulfillment constructed by a broken, guilt-ridden woman named Diane Selwyn in the final moments of her life. The last third, the dark, ugly, painful, uncomfortable section, that is reality. Now let me tell you the real story. Diane Selwyn is a failed actress. She came to Los Angeles from Deep River, Ontario, a small-town girl with enormous dreams and a one-way ticket to Hollywood. She had some talent, she had hope, and she had an aunt who once danced on these same stages and believed in her completely. But Hollywood is not kind to hope. Diane's career went nowhere. Audition after audition, rejection after rejection, and then she met Camilla Rhodes, a genuinely talented, genuinely beautiful actress whose career went everywhere Diane's did not. And Diane fell completely, devastatingly, obsessively in love with her. For a while, Camilla loved her back, or something close to it. But then Camilla moved on. She fell in love with their director, Adam Kesher. She invited Diane to their engagement party, cruelly, carelessly, with that particular cruelty that only someone who once loved you can manage, and made her watch. And something in Diane broke completely. In her jealousy and her heartbreak and her rage, Diane hired a hitman to kill Camilla. She handed over money in a coffee shop. The hitman showed her a blue key and told her it would be left for her when the job was done. And then Diane went home and waited. And the guilt was immediate and total and destroying. So her dying mind constructed a dream, the most beautiful, hopeful, painless version of reality it could imagine. In the dream, Camilla is not dead. She is alive, lost, vulnerable, and in desperate need of Diane's help. In the dream, Diane is not a failure, but Betty, warm, talented, luminous, loved. In the dream, Hollywood is magical and full of possibility. In the dream, the 2 women fall in love, purely and completely and mutually. In the dream, nobody gets hurt, nobody gets killed, nobody is guilty of anything. In the dream, Diane gets to be everything she always wished she was. Now, let me tell you about the moments in this film that are absolutely unforgettable. The Silencio club scene. This is perhaps the most devastating scene Lynch has ever put on film. Betty and Rita find themselves in a strange theater in the middle of the night. A magician on stage says, "There is no band, there is no orchestra. Everything you hear is a recording. Everything is an illusion." And then a woman walks on stage and begins singing a heartbreaking Spanish version of Crying by Roy Orbison. And halfway through the song, she collapses, she falls, she cannot continue. But the singing continues anyway, without her, because it was never real. Betty and Rita weep. They cannot stop weeping. And if you are paying attention, you will weep too. Because Lynch is telling you directly, right to your face, exactly what this entire film is about. The performance continues even after the performer is gone. The dream continues even after the dreamer has collapsed. That scene alone is worth the entire film. Then there is the diner scene, Winkies. A man tells his friend about a recurring nightmare. He says, "I dreamed there was a terrible thing behind this diner, and I am terrified of it." And his friend says, "Let us go look. Let us face it together." They walk around the back of the diner, and something steps out from the shadows. That creature, that horrifying, grimy nightmare face, is the guilt, the reality, the thing Diane cannot face, the truth waiting behind every dream, every fantasy, every beautiful lie her mind has constructed. And then there is the blue box, the blue key. The blue key is the key the hitman left for Diane when the job was done, when Camilla was dead. And in the dream, the blue box appears as the thing that will unlock everything. Rita finds it in her bag, Betty holds it. And when it opens, the dream collapses entirely. Reality floods back. The box is the moment Diane can no longer hide from what she has done. And then we see the real Hollywood, the real Camilla, the real Diane, hollow-eyed, unwashed, alone in her apartment with the guilt and the grief and the horror of what she has become. The elderly couple from the beginning of the dream, those cheerful, smiling, dancing figures who seem so harmless, return at the end as tiny, terrifying, unstoppable figures pursuing Diane through her apartment. They are her guilt made physical, her memories, her past, the things she cannot outrun, no matter how deep into the dream she goes. And Diane cannot survive what she has done. Nobody could. This is where Lynch's genius becomes truly overwhelming. Because by the time reality arrives, by the time we see who Diane truly is, we have already spent 2 hours inside her dream. We have loved Betty. We have felt her joy and her hope and her talent. We have wanted her to succeed. And so when it all collapses, it does not feel like a plot twist. It feels like grief. Our grief for the person Diane could have been. For the life that slipped through her fingers. For the dream that was never going to survive contact with the real world. Lynch is not just telling one woman's story. He is telling Hollywood's story. The story of the dream factory itself. Betty is who Hollywood promises you can be. Diane is who Hollywood makes you. Every hopeful face that steps off a bus in Los Angeles, every audition, every rejection, every small humiliation that accumulates over years until the dream is unrecognizable. That is Mulholland Drive. And Naomi Watts, in what is surely one of the greatest performances ever committed to film, plays both versions of this woman with such total conviction, such raw vulnerability, such heartbreaking authenticity, that you forget entirely you are watching an actress. She won no Oscar for this role. That remains one of the great injustices in Academy history. Mulholland Drive, 2001, David Lynch. Watch it once for the experience. Watch it twice for the understanding. Watch it a third time and you will see things you cannot believe you missed. Somewhere in the darkness of that theater, in the silence after the singer falls, you will hear Lynch whispering to you. There is no band. There is no orchestra. It was always a recording. But God, what a recording it was! I am the wandering cinephile, and I will see you in the next film.